So the officer who killed Mr. Daunte Wright, well, she has been released. Kim Potter. Let's put up the pictures for a mass. Out of jail, Kim Potter, the former cop who shot Daunte Wright after saying she mistook her taser or her gun for a taser. She wanted to tase him, not kill him. She's been released from the Minnesota Correctional Facility after serving just 16 months. She'll serve another 8 months on supervised release. Let's put up the picture of the family of the young child, okay? So when a person is dead, the justice that you are seeking is really for the family, like that child and the mother that may still be living, or the father and grandparents, etc. Wright's family, they're saying that Potter, this officer, left them cursed forever when she shot and killed the 20-year-old Daunte Wright during a traffic stop on April 11th, 2020. The shooting happened during the trial of Derek Chauvin, the officer who murdered George Floyd. And Wright's death set off several days of protest. Officer Potter, who was convicted of first and second degree manslaughter, this was in 2022, received a sentence that was far below the guidelines of roughly 7 years. And the 15-year maximum the state of Minnesota allows for first degree manslaughter. Wright's family slammed the sentence at the time, which was handed down by Judge Regina Chu, who cried when she announced Potter's punishment last February. Let's put up these side-by-side pictures here, okay? Almost unrecognizable. Officer Potter, 50 years old, can be seen in a recently released mugshot looking frail and thin, a stark contrast from her smiling mugshot in 2021. The Minnesota Department of Corrections said Potter was released at 4 a.m. out of an abundance of caution for the safety of Ms. Potter, DOC staff, and the security of the correctional facility. A statement said there were elevated concerns for Ms. Potter's safety, including threatening comments directed at her and the potential for violent protest outside of the facility. Her release conditions say she cannot leave Wisconsin without permission. She must also maintain contact with a release agent, submit to unannounced visits, searches, and drug or alcohol tests, and not possess guns or other dangerous weapons, and not have contact with the family. So she gets a few months for killing a black male. Now remember, we've reported on these stories before, right? Where the officer says, no, I meant to grab my taser, but I grabbed the gun. Let me go ahead and put this mess to rest, this ridiculous defense. Now, if it is because you have such, I don't know, negligent thought that you would actually do this, well, you don't need to be a cop at all. You should have a criminal penalty when you eliminate the life of another human being that should be alive. But think about this. You and me, for the most part, we're not trained. We're not trained on how to use a taser, okay? We're not trained. We don't go to a class or get formal training, but they do. As a matter of fact, to be taser certified, you must go through the training. And most departments require that you be tasered yourself to receive that certification. The taser has a different color, has a different weight, has a different trigger mechanism, and it's on a different side of the belt of the officer intentionally, so that mistake would never happen. And here's the other part. We hear stories about cops grabbing their gun when they meant to grab their taser. And now there's a dead person in front of them. Have you ever heard a cop tell you they meant to grab their gun, but they grabbed their taser instead. They meant to kill, but instead they just tased somebody and that person is still alive. You've never heard it that way. We've never done that before. There's no data for that. So the defense was obviously effective because she killed a whole person in front of a lot of people. And by the way, remember, she was head of a union where, according to members of that union, she would often engage in conversation about how you can cover up or cover your tracks if you've done something, let's just say, not becoming of an officer. All right. 16 months, Sharon. Family's outraged, obviously. What are your thoughts?
About the same as they were when Judge Chu cried.
Yeah.
Like, it was so foolish to watch her cry from the bench. And Kim Potter, we should make sure, Doc, people understand, is no Meryl Streep. She didn't need to be. She just needed to have white woman tears that were so affected that even now, 16 months later, people are so concerned about her. I wonder if the patrol car is still parked outside her home, protecting her.
Yep. All right. We will give you updates as they arrive, but, you know, she may be released off of probation early.